cook at home or here at the office, we take the cookbooks really seriously, and everyone watching might think, well, surely that's normal. I think the audience would be fascinated how few cooks cook their food for their cookbooks. So like I will cook the food, I'll develop the food, we'll test the food. We got the new book up there that you can't see, but yeah, we'll tell you about that later. Out here, this is our office here. So down there, that's where we do all the testing. So it's empty now because it's the end of the day. Yeah. There's the lovely Ginny. We're going to come to you in a second, Ginny. So get off the internet, Ginny. So we test everything here, and every recipe that we write, we test in here at least 4 times, and then strangers outside of the business test it, a couple of times. But if there's any problems with the recipes, more, and then I'll do the master edit of all the comments. This is the lovely Ginny. She's the head of the food team. She looks tired because she's been working so hard this week. And she's been on every shoot that I've ever done, every TV show I've ever done, and helps me with the shoots and the propping. And Ginny, I'm going to go over to this propping area. I completely threw her in the deep end there. She's been doing wreath making this week with my lovely wife. So here's like part of our props world. There's about 20 times this downstairs. So we kind of refresh all this beautiful stuff on sort of a weekly basis. And so, when we're shooting stuff, we're trying to reflect an atmosphere. So we're not trying to make a fake atmosphere, 100% not, but we're trying to, like 15-minute meals or a book that is, I guess, solution-based, generally tends to be cleaner and clearer and less emotion, more business, more clarity. Books like Together and Christmas and Italy and Britain and America, they're much more emotional and more reportage. And we work with some amazing photographers. We have backgrounds here, and then the work, they're not here now, but all the editorial people here will work at putting the recipes together and all the spellings and that stuff. And then normally here, all the design stuff happens so that we design all the books in-house. And here's part of my lovely design. So give us a wave for Germany, everyone. Part of the design team. We design the books here. Look how lucky they are. At work, they get given cake. Look at this cake. Fantastic. Cake. Where did you get that cake from? Have you been stealing? Yeah. So we design it here, and then we just take a lot of time when we do all the videos and social media stuff to support the book. We'll cut that here and we'll film it over there, and then we're back in here again. So this is like one of our kitchens. But sorry, that's just a little quick tour of what we do. But
thanks for the insight. That's fantastic. I'm sure it's fantastic for people.
Giving you behind the scenes. Let me put you back in your stand.
Yeah. Great. Thanks so much for this spontaneous tour. I mean, we hadn't discussed it before, but thanks for showing us.
No, it's a pleasure. Well, I guess to all of the audience watching that have so generously supported me over the last 20 years. And how many books did you say in Germany that we've sold?
Nearly 6 million.
Yeah,
imagine them piled up. I mean, that would be a very huge tower.
Yeah, and also to say that all of the paper that we use in that pile is sustainable, FSC approved paper. Just to be clear. I mean, interestingly, I mean, that's a serious point, of course, which we're always very mindful about, how we make stuff and all the elements of producing a book. Digital books don't really, illustrated books digitally, I can't even say it, digitally, they don't really work.
No.
I mean, although my Christmas book went to #1 yesterday, because I think it was 99 pence or something like that. And it's, as you know, it's an amazing book. So I don't know quite how it works, but generally people don't tend to resonate with digital, even though digital is actually a really good medium for books because the pictures are amazing and all the other things you can do. But I am quite heartened that people still love to do this, don't they? And
like to sit on the sofa and just, you know, look through it quietly, and they're in front of a screen the whole time. So a book changes you from that.
yeah.
And it's the book is very, as you said, a book and food go very well together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My little girl.
lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known you for 20 years now, and it was amazing for me to see your personal development, you know, from young chef, nervous and always overactive, to
That's a very polite way to say hyperactive. Yeah, no, thank you.
and to someone who has social interests at heart, who thinks of society, who thinks of well-being for people, of nutrition, and you spend a lot of time campaigning, and you spend a lot of time to make your company a B Corp company, so ethical and sustainable. And I'm just so happy that I could witness that in our many discussions over the years, how you found your way and your path, and how serious you are about all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I think it's publishing and the power of the book that sculpted me as the middle-aged, shining example of a man. Oh, God. But I mean, I think it's, in seriousness, because of my relationship with books, it's forced me to listen very hard to the public, not just the British public, but the global public. And it's forced me to talk about things that I would never normally be brave enough to talk about. The campaigns that I do are not just financially costly, they're emotionally exhausting, and it's never a pleasure, but they're so important. And I can only do it with the support of the public. And as you know, the food industry is at a real interesting point right now. COVID has amplified the importance of accessible nutrition and solutions and convenience, but healthy. And we haven't got close to fixing that yet. And governments and companies and fast food vendors and digital apps, like there's so much work to be done, not to take away your choices, complete opposite. Actually, good nutrition isn't about what you take away, actually, it's about what you're given, what you're offered, and about the concept of true choice. But yeah, no, I mean, it's sort of it defines me as a adult, and I every day I think about it, and every day I think I'm not doing enough, and every day there's I mean, the problem, by the way, is also not a stagnant problem, it's a moving problem, and sadly it's not just moving, but it's getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, I mean, hopefully one of the positives about this modern technology is that we can gather the voices of the public and help governments do their bloody job, and help companies to tell the truth and not lie. And all the conversations that we're having around environment are almost like mapping with health.
Yeah.
What the planet needs and what the public need are kind of the same thing, right? More fruit and veg. And it's not about being boring. And it's actually not going forward, by the way. It's going back. It's in a positive way back. So looking at ancestral food, and we can still do delicious, and we can still do fantasy, we can still do foods and flavors from around the world. But we need to be fussy, and companies need to help us, you know, celebrate deliciousness in safer, happier, healthier ways. And I think that we're in that moment now. It's kind of like the next generation are going to demand it. And I think the public are pretty amazing, but they have got enough to worry about. It's really, I think it's really hard, especially to be a modern day mum and dad in Germany or England. It doesn't make any difference. Like, it's really challenging to try and be a good partner, good parent, good at work, you know, good, and then try and eat ethically and healthily. Like I think the public will support great things, but it's got to be in the right format and shape. And look, I'm just doing my bit. I mean, there's lots of us trying to do it, and you know, hopefully, while I'm still alive, we'll start to see some positive trends.
Well, you're motivated by yourself, but also by probably looking at your kids and seeing that, you know, you want a good, healthy future for them, and you were successful with your sugar tax campaign, and that's an amazing thing that you succeeded.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I mean, I'm not really in favour of smashing taxes everywhere, but I think that was a tax for good. And interestingly, it just, in the UK and many other countries are copying now. Like, it's not only raised millions and millions of pounds that's been ring fenced for primary schools and breakfast clubs and sports clubs, but it's been the fastest reformulation of the drinks industry ever in history globally. So it's been a phenomenal success. And by the way, no one lost any jobs, and actually it forced the businesses to diversify, which is, you know, but people hate change, right? So
yeah, but we may need your help for Germany. We need to, you know, to make that move as well.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm quite shocked by Germany, because like, I've learned a lot about Germany over the years, and everyone knows that you have incredible skills and proficiency and industry, and like the German rigor and intelligence, like, is very clear throughout many of your industries. But politically, I don't know what's going on. It's like, you've got all the data, just do your job. You've got all the science, do your job. Like, it's I don't know what has happened. Why has nothing changed in Germany for the last? I mean, just to put it into context, like, Germany and England are generally fighting for the #1 position of the most unhealthy kids in Europe. I mean, we haven't fixed it, but I mean, there seems to be much more traction here than in Germany. Why is that?
I mean, we had a long period of political, let's call it, stability, and we now have a change. I mean, with the last elections, the new government is about to form itself, to come together, and the hope is that necessary change will happen now really fast, because it has to.
I hope so.
I'm not too worried looking at some of the youngsters. You know, a lot of the youngsters are very concerned about the planet, because it is their future. And many youngsters, I'm thinking of my niece, who is 15, who is a vegan, and many of her friends are as well. So my hope really is that they will change the way we look at things, by being very consistent with things that they think important, and live very very consistently as well. Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, I guess within this cookbook and look, when you're talking about vegan and vegetarian, I was lucky enough to write my vegetarian cookbook.
Yes, it's very successful here.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of vegan recipes in there. I mean, it took me 9 years to get that program commissioned. 9 years. That's me. Everyone thinks I have a really easy job getting stuff away. Like, it's never been harder, but it took me 9 years to tell that story of more plant-based, and that was as a meat eater. You know, it's not a vegetarian talking to a vegetarian as a meat eater. So I think there is progress, but what I try to do, hopefully what you feel I've given you in this book, is lots and lots of different opportunities for different meals: breakfasts, brunches, lunches, seasonal, you know, quick fixes, fancy, a little bit of everything, you know, a little bit of something for everyone. And I hope you feel like I've given you that. Even your little cheese balls that you had the other.
They're so delicious. I baked the first batch and I froze the rest as you suggest. So somebody who comes around my house next time will get the second batch. So what's your Christmas menu going to be?
Okay, so this Christmas I am going to my mother's, and I am going to bring the turkey and the goose and the gravy, and my sister is going to do the sort of some of the veggie dishes like the al forno sort of cauliflower cheesy type things.
Yeah.
Then we are going to have other people bringing desserts, and then Mum's going to do everything else, and that is how we're going to roll. And I'm looking forward to it because last year and the year before we couldn't do that. So yeah, I mean, I am excited for this year, and you know, Christmas is a big deal. We like the decorations. We like to get festive. And even though I normally cook off the cuff and do everything freestyle, I do plan Christmas. I sit down for 10 minutes and I plan everything so that all my timings and I don't forget anything. Cocktails, drinks. We've got Get Ahead Gravy Day coming up very, very soon. And I think it has gone to Germany, but this Get Ahead Gravy Day is hilarious because we basically get everyone making gravy, the best gravy in the world.
Okay.
And a gravy is one of the pillars of Christmas, you know, meat, potato, gravy. And then we freeze it. And then on Christmas Day, we make a double gravy. So yeah, that's kind of fun.
Never even heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know? Well, I will send you the recipe and I will get you involved. I mean, Germany is open to Get Ahead Gravy Day. It's an international day, by the way.
Yeah. Very good.
When is it? The 11th of December. There you go. Yeah. It will change your life. You'll never look back.
We'll participate.
My wife loves gravy so much that she drinks it. She has a spoon. So you have a knife and a fork and a spoon at the dinner table. She's a classy girl. I mean, it could be worse. It could be a straw.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sure yours is delicious and the best in the world. So send me that recipe.
And so can yours be. And by the way, just in the attitude of inclusion, I also have an amazing vegetarian and vegan gravy. You have to work harder, but we have a delicious one that's very, very good. So that is in the digital and the written Christmas cookbook. That came out in Germany, didn't it?
Yes, of course. And we printed a new edition for this Christmas, and most books are gone already. There are only very few left. So it's selling and selling. This year it's selling particularly well compared to previous years.
Why do you think that is then? What's changed in Germany?
I think it may have to do with COVID, that, you know, what you described, people are looking forward to this Christmas because last Christmas was a bit of a sad affair. And we hope that this Christmas we can have a larger family around the table and people want to make it a festive occasion. And food is one of the important things.
Yeah.
So I think we appreciate what you also said. We appreciate being together.
Gravy lovers, here we go.
Lovely.
We got you covered. Christmas. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a beautiful Christmas, and thank you for your continued support. 20 years you've been my publisher in Germany, and hopefully I haven't let you down too often.
No.
And hopefully I continue to keep delivering.
Yeah, and let's just hope. I look forward to the next book, by the way. I had a glimpse already, but we won't talk about it.
About that, because then we both get in so much trouble.
Yes, I know.
We'll announce it in January, won't we?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a very exciting book. I think it could be the one that makes all the difference. I've got a feeling in my tummy.
Yeah. Great one. And well, I hope I can come to London before too long.
And likewise, I'm hoping to get back over to Berlin and beautiful Hamburg, and you know, check in with some friends and feel all the positive energy, hopefully after Christmas when things are calming a little bit.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Things will get better, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But we need a little bit of patience now because in Germany its figures aren't looking that good, so we don't know what to expect in the next weeks. But we'll keep cooking and we'll keep being together
Keep
with
cooking, carry on. And look, I think one thing we've learned about the lockdown thing is food really can help make something wonderful. And throughout the whole of lockdown, you know, that was one of the things still in your control, even if it was hard. It was still in your control. And I'd like to think that most people will be able to see their families this Christmas. Fingers crossed. And so I wish you and everyone watching a spectacular Christmas and a happy New Year and good health. And yeah.
And the same to you and your loved ones. And see you soon, I hope, in person.
Thank you, my darling. Lots of love. And
Love.
thank you to everyone that's tuned in and joined our conversation. I really appreciate it. We've had people from all over the world.
Yes. See
So,
the comments, it's amazing. You know, wherever you are, happy Christmas and thanks for being with us.
hi from Russia and from Siberia. So there you go. We've got people from Siberia, South Africa, Norway, all over the place.
Yeah.
Bless. Well, listen, you take care, Monica. I'm going to love you and leave you. And do you know what I'm going to do now?
What?
Cook dinner.
Very good. Okay, so am I.
Lots of love.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you my recipe for sausage carbonara in German. It's
Absolutely.
lecker. You're going to love it.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.